Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Gospel Podcast at LAUMC. This is session number 20. We have 3 great songs for you today, some bluegrass, some country, and we'll get right into the songs. Our first song today is I'll Meet You in the Morning, sung by Grandpa Jones. That wasn't his real name, of course, but sung by Grandpa Jones in 1976. That was I'll Meet You in the Morning, a Southern bluegrass gospel classic. The performer was Grandpa Jones, and this recording came from 1976. This song was written by Albert E. Brumley, who was an extensive songwriter of bluegrass and country music, wrote over 800 gospel and other songs during his life. He was born in 1905 near Spiro, Oklahoma. He attended the Hartford Musical Institute in Hartford, Arkansas, and sang with the Hartford Quartet. He went on to teach at singing schools in the Ozark and lived most of his life in Powell, Missouri. He worked for 34 years as a staff writer for the Hartford and Stamps publishing companies, then founded the Albert E. Brumley and Sons Music Company and Country Gentleman Music, and bought the Hartford Music Company. I'll Meet You in the Morning was written in 1936. Brumley stated that he developed the idea for the song while picking cotton in Oklahoma. He wrote this hymn, which expresses the hope of reuniting in heaven. I will meet you in the morning by the bright riverside. When all sorrows have drifted away, I'll be standing at the portals when the gates open wide at the close of life's long weary day. I'll meet you in the morning with a how do you do, and we'll sit down by the river, and when the rapture of the plain is renewed, you'll know me in the morning by the smile that I wear when I meet you in the morning in the city that is built four square. Grandpa Jones was born Louis Marshall Jones Born in 1913, he enjoyed a long, distinctive career in country music. At age 22, he began to play the grandpa character with his high-top boots, bushy mustache, and suspenders. He was a banjo player and an old-time country music singer. He was inducted as a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1978. He was born in the small farming community of Niagara in Henderson County, Kentucky, the youngest of 10 children in a sharecropper's family. His father was an old-time fiddle player, and his mother was a ballad singer and adept on the concertina. His first instrument was guitar. Ramona Riggins, one of several women who began to gain some recognition in a musical form long dominated by men, was Grandpa Jones' wife and musical partner of over 30 years. She first started playing the mandolin when she was 6 or 7 years old. Jones spent his teenage years in Akron, Ohio, where he began singing country music tunes on a radio show. In 1931, Jones joined the Pine Ridge String Band, which provided the musical accompaniment for his radio show, The Lum and Abner Show. By 1935, his pursuit of a musical career took him to Boston, Massachusetts, where he met musician and songwriter Bradley Kincaid, who gave him the nickname Grandpa Jones when he was only 22, because off stage he was quite grumpy at early morning radio shows. Jones liked the name and decided to create a stage persona based around it. Later in life, he lived in Mountain View, Arkansas. In the 1940s, he met rising country radio star Cousin Emmy, from whom he learned to play the banjo. Performing as Grandpa Jones, he played the guitar or banjo, yodeled, and sang mostly old-time ballads. By 1937, Jones had made his way to West Virginia, where Cousin Emmy taught Jones the art of the clawhammer style of banjo playing, which gave a rough, backwoods flavor to his performances. He played the guitar or banjo, yodeled, and sang mostly old-time ballads. By 1937, he was in West Virginia, where Cousin Emmy taught him the art of the clawhammer style of banjo playing. His first experience playing music in public came at the age of 11 or thereabouts. The music of the WLS barn dance in Chicago was a major influence on Grandpa Jones, as were the Jimmy Rogers records his sister brought home. In 1942, Jones joined radio station WLW in Cincinnati, Ohio. There he met fellow Kentuckian Merle Travis. In 1943, they made their recording debuts together for the upstart King Records. Jones was making records under his own name for King by 1944. His recording career was put on hold when he enlisted in the U.S. Army during World War II. Throughout 1946 to 1949, when several Opry-class members, Clyde Moody and Chubby Wise among them, and he were invited to become a part of the burgeoning world of television by an entrepreneur, Connie B. Gay, he became a cast member at the Old Dominion Barn Dance, broadcast from Richmond, Virginia. In March 1946, he moved to Nashville and started performing on the Grand Ole Opry. His more famous country songs include T for Texas, Are You from Dixie, Night Train to Memphis, Mountain Dew, and 8 More Miles to Louisville. In the fall of 1968, Jones became a character, a charter cast member on the long-running television show Hee Haw, often responding to the show's skits with his trademark phrase, outrageous. He also played banjo by himself or with banjo player David Stringbean Aikman. A resident of rural Ridgetop, Tennessee, outside Nashville. He was a neighbor and friend of fellow musician David Aikman. On the morning of November 11, 1973, Jones discovered the bodies of Aikman and his wife Estelle, who had been murdered during the night by robbers. He testified at the trial of the killers. His testimony helped to secure a conviction. Also in 1978, Jones was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. His autobiography was called Everybody's Grandpa, 50 Years Behind the Mic, published in 1984. In 2023, Jones was inducted into the American Banjo Museum Hall of Fame. Our second song, a bluegrass entry from the Osborne Brothers, is called I Hear a Sweet Voice Calling.
One evening, as she walked home from school, and then her deathbed soon claimed her. It made us so sad and so blue. Then she called me close to her bedside. He's all that you have left. Then she closed her eyes forever, never to see us no more, until we meet our darling on that bright
That was the Osborne Brothers singing in 1980, I Hear a Sweet Voice Calling. The song is about a dying girl who faces the sure prospect of going to heaven, with the opening lyrics, our little girl had taken sick one evening as she walked home from school, and then her deathbed soon claimed her. It made us so sad and so blue. The reviewer put this statement about the song: the sick child leaves the world with a rebuke to her parents, whose tears imply that their faith has been shaken. The songs by Bill Monroe were at once tragic and filled with a radiant life force in music as heart-wrenchingly old-fashioned as I Hear a Sweet Voice Calling. Monroe had also performed it live with the Osborne brothers, and it was described as achingly beautiful, yet electrically exciting music, ruefully outdated by time. The Osborne brothers, named Bobby and Sonny, were a pioneering, highly influential American bluegrass duo formed in 1956 and known for bridging traditional bluegrass with modern amplified country music. They were pivotal in bringing bluegrass to a wider audience, becoming Grand Ole Opry members and trailblazers in the 1960s and 1970s. Most famous for their 1967 hit Rocky Top and their signature high lead harmony vocals. They were inducted into the International Bluegrass Music Hall of Honor in 1994. They were born in Roark, Kentucky, on Jacks Creek, but the family moved to Hyden after their house burned down. The family later moved near Dayton, Ohio, where the brothers grew up and performed as entertainers in southwestern Ohio. In 1952, during the Korean War, Bobby served in the U.S. Marine Corps. Sonny went to work with the father of bluegrass music, Bill Monroe. Following Bobby's discharge, the Osbournes teamed up with Jimmy Martin, performing at radio stations in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Detroit, Michigan. At their only session together in November 1954, the Osbournes and Martin recorded 6 songs for RCA Victor. In late 1955, the Osbournes left Martin, moved to Wheeling, West Virginia, where they performed on WWVA Jamboree until Christmas, together with Charlie Bailey. They returned to Dayton in early 1956, playing local clubs with guitarist Enos Johnson. When Johnson left, the Osbournes added guitarist Red Allen and fiddler Art Stamper to form a new group. Our third song today is White Dove by the Osborne Brothers from 1978.
There's a place
That was White Dove, sung by the Osborne Brothers in 1980. This song was written by Bill Monroe, an American mandolinist, singer, and songwriter who created the bluegrass music genre. For this reason, he's often called the father of bluegrass. The genre takes its name from his band, the Bluegrass Boys, who named their group for the bluegrass of Monroe's home state of Kentucky. The Monroe Brothers were an influential and popular bluegrass act during the 1960s and 1970s and performed together until Sonny Osborne retired in 2005. They're best known for their 1967 country hit called Rocky Top. Upon their breaking into the bluegrass scene, the Osborne Brothers quickly became known for their virtuoso instrumentation and tight melodic vocal harmonies. That they made the country chart in 1958 with the song Once More, performed as a trio with Red Allen. The song featured a novel inverted stacked harmony. Bobby sang the lead line highest, with Sonny singing baritone and Red Allen singing tenor as the lowest part. This made Bobby's distinctive voice the lead, and the third voice was somewhat interchangeable. As a result, they could hire other guitarists and singers without changing the overall sound. The high lead vocal trio became their signature, and they used it to great effect in the country market with songs like Blame Me, Sweethearts Again, and a remake of the Carter family's classic Fair and Tender Ladies. During the 1960s, the Osbournes caused minor controversy among bluegrass music purists by incorporating electronic and percussion instruments in their live acts and studio work. In 1960, they became the first bluegrass group to play on a college campus, performing at Antioch College. In August of 1964, the brothers were inducted as members of the Grand Ole Opry. In 1973, they became the first bluegrass group to perform at the White House. Rocky Top was named an official Tennessee state song in 1982. And in 1994, the Osborne Brothers were inducted into the International Bluegrass Music Association's Hall of Honor. Thank you for joining us for the Gospel Podcast. This was session number 20 today. We hope you'll join us again soon, and we thank you for listening and look forward to seeing you again.